This video is to demonstrate using solder to weight reeds to drop their pitch. It's the sort of thing one often has to do when working in diatonic accordions when they break a reed, because you probably haven't got a reed in your spare parts department that's got E on one side and F sharp on the other, that sort of thing. Now here we have set up in my bench a reed which is nicely sitting on F both ways. And we're going to do some pitch changing. Here is a roll of solder. It's an alloy of lead and tin, 40% lead, 60 tin. And it's also got flux, which they somehow magically get inside the solder wire, which is an acid, which is there to remove any corrosion off the metal you're soldering to. Now, the solder has a very low melting point, and you can solder to steel, to brass, to copper. You cannot solder to aluminium or zinc, as in galvanized steel. So the first step of the process will be to clean the end of the reed so you've got a nice fresh steel surface. So the solder will grab. The next step will be that we put something under the reed to hold it in place. And here is the iron. As you can see, it's got some molten solder on the end. The iron is therefore tinned, and that is to assist with heat transfer. Here we go. Let's put a little solder on this reed. Just getting some heat in first, then apply some solder. That much solder, probably is a bit more than a semitone. Let's just see how accurate my guess is. Indeed, my guess was good. It's rather flat of E. Now, having soldered to the end of this reed to make it rather flat of E, let's sharpen it up to E by scraping with the blade. Indeed, we have to do this regardless, because there will be the remains of the flux on the end of the reed adding weight, which will be brittle and could fall off if you don't take it off yourself, which would then throw your tuning off. But let's see what that has achieved. Not much, still well flat of E, so let's just keep a bit more aggressively shaving off some solder. It's getting there. Almost. Nicely down to E. So let us now go further and see what the limits of this are. We will put a rather bigger lump of solder on, wait for it to harden, because there you go. It is now rather flat of C sharp, and the reed response is still reasonable. Let's keep going. Again, waiting for the solder to harden. B flat. Let's keep going. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Well, we've got almost an octave out of it. We're down to G, and the reed is now starting to be a bit unresponsive and dull, but we'll keep going a little more. Waiting on it. Waiting, waiting, waiting. And now the solder has spread out past the edges of the reed. So to now deal with that, we scrape that part of the solder which has crossed past the edge of the reed. Almost. And we're down to F, so we've got nearly an octave out of it, and that is way past the limit of what one should be doing. But just thought you might be all interested to see. Bye. I just thought you might be interested to see a closer look, as best the camera can do, at the reed which has been dropped by an octave. The solder is a bit untidy and lumpy, so I'll just give it a little clean up with the stone and we'll see what's possible there. There it is, a bit cleaned up with the stone. It's rather tidier.